Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Feel free to check out the community tab, follow me on Twitter, even engage in the comments below. When I post links to various videos, feel free to check out those links, as well as to get involved in my fundraiser, as well as ebook sales. 2 books are available now, with 8 more coming over the next several years. I think it's important, whether online, through social media, personal videos, or websites and blogs, everybody can create a community of sorts. And a lot of communities typically overlap. If you have a lot of interests, a lot of various types of people that you actually click with and know a lot about and have similar interests, that's even more of a reason to create and develop online communities, whether it be through online forums, blogs, websites, or of course YouTube, Twitter, and other social media apps. I think a lot more people, need, especially to get involved these days. In the 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even the early 2000s, there wasn't really a lot for social media. You know, then the only way you could contact other people is to head out into society, whether it be at the mall, various events, etc., etc. But now, these days, everybody can actually communicate with others 24/7 about things they're actually looking for or have similar interests in. This is one of the main reasons why a lot of the communities and a lot of the various social media actually exist, whether it be YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or any of the other new social media that's currently being beta tested and yet to come. Personally, I think a lot of people these days, if they'd use various projects as well as actually use uh, common sense and actually take note of increasing their attention span, they can actually learn from various other people in more ways than one, whether it be through community posts, whether it be online forums and blogs or websites. Websites, whether they be in HTML or checked out with WordPress and JavaScript and other coding languages, or even, social media apps, like I said, like Twitter, YouTube, and so forth. I think a lot of people, can and should engage with everybody on a much more global and much more outreach type of scale. A lot of people, it seems like, watch 30 or 40 seconds of something and then just wander off somewhere else. I think if people would actually have an attention span and watch one or more videos of any creator, be it 3 or 4 videos at a time, or, spending all day going down a particular creator's catalog, I think a lot of people would not only learn a lot more about, what similar interests people have, but they'd also see how all the naysayers of the early internet, as well as a lot of the problems caused in society, are easily avoided. As far as like all these shootings, if people would actually use common sense and just go about their business in a normal manner, that would eliminate 99% of the problems. I think so many people these days, especially your younger people, think they need a weapon, especially if they're on drugs or, part of a gang mentality where, you got to get somebody before they get you. And that's, partially probably more of a psychological issue or a mental issue than, actually, a personality trait. I think a lot of people, if they use common sense as well as take note of their skills as well as, what they have to offer, fellow human beings, this would eliminate probably 75 to 95% of said problems. Whether you're at the library, doing stuff at a mall or a social event, or any other kind of public thing, using common sense, especially in this day and age, goes a long way. There are so many people, especially younger people, teens, 20s, 30s, that think it's all about them. They want to get famous fast, or they want to show off, or they want to actually hurt people that they don't agree with, instead of coming up with similar things they have in common and base a relationship and a connection with that. I think, more and more as, the years go on. 100 years ago, when my grandparents were just, coming of age and coming into this world, it was a lot different. Social skills were, developed through families, through friends, through, actually dealing with other people. But in this day and age, it seems like so many people think they're the only ones that actually matter. They either try to cancel each other, try to eliminate physically or psychologically people they don't agree with. I think, if people would actually use common sense and actually think for themselves, this would eliminate almost all the problems, currently facing. With all these shootings, if people would think for 5 seconds and, have social skills and have more of a life, they'd have less problems both mentally and psychologically that push them to those, means to that particular end versus actually dealing with other people, on a social, personal, and civil manner. And of course, we can't forget about all the politicians that think they're all this, that, and the other when all they care about is themselves. They want to represent people in the national scheme of things, yet they don't have the first, common sense that, everybody has their opinion and everybody can, discuss things out at length versus bitching and moaning about shit that has nothing to do with nothing. I've seen so much of this, whether it be on Twitter or other social media, that people can't actually communicate. They rather judge or put down or argue with or even get violent toward other morons that don't agree with them, instead of thinking, there's other people that agree with, what they're saying and actually know a few things about similar topics, whether, again, be in sports, music, technology, news media, personal interests, etc., etc. So I think more people need to actually think about that versus actually thinking how they can harm somebody, how they can cancel somebody, how they can threaten somebody, etc. Take care, everybody. We'll see you later. Have a good one.